Hey, welcome to my first ever educational, informational YouTube video. I want to review or show a change that I made to a product, and I'm going to let the manufacturer, GOODSMANN, know of the change that I made to their product, and hopefully they'll understand where they possibly can improve their product. And for somebody that likes the refraction of light on the ground with their pathway lights and the landscape lights, if that's what you're looking for, that's what this video is about. I want to keep the old classic look of pathway lights. They call it, the GOODSMANN calls it a modern look. I don't think it's a modern look. I think the more just skinny rods, metal with frosted glass and shines out. So GOODSMANN has this product. So what originally got me on these lights is I moved into a house that had these old style lights. I say old style, I think it's an old classic style look. Landscape pathway lights, 12 volt low voltage lights, 2-wire system. VOLISUN had the original ones that I liked. I was able to buy them in 2020 and previous years of that. And then I moved, got a new house, want to do some new landscape lights. And of course, what do? I run right to Amazon and look up my VOLISUNs that I'd bought before, and they don't have them anymore. They're still in business. They still have pathway lights, but everybody's going to the solar, frosted glass, no refraction glass. And that's what I want. And VOLISUN just has a solar one. A lot of the solar ones don't last. There is YouTube videos of solar lights lasting until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, get it. But they're still way dimmed out, right? The one reason I'm doing these lights in the front of my house is it's a sense of security. At my previous place, my neighbors complained that my lights were too bright in the front yard because the whole front yard was lit up and they had to drive right by it. And sorry, Jeremy. But I loved it because the sense of security of lighting up the front of your house, you put 8 of these in the front of your house, brings your house to light at nighttime. And I don't think that attracts attention. I think it actually makes people keep just walking on by. So anyways, I couldn't get the lights I wanted. I searched and finally found GOODSMANN, and they had this light. So I was very excited about it. So I ordered them, they came, and right off the bat, I realized it's just an LED shooting up in there. It's not an actual bulb. So I'll disassemble this one real quick, and then we'll do another one, a full tear down here real quick. So pretty simple. Take the spike off, and the spike is, I'm pretty sure it's popcorn metal. I'm pretty sure it's not aluminum. Same with this, is a metal something, or a metal type, right? Metal base here, and then a metal top. All great. Glass, real glass, thick glass, so good refraction, the refraction that I want on the ground. I want the lines on the ground and looks like a prism on the ground. That's what I want. Anyway, so the glass is very good, but inside of that is a flat, just a flat chip. And all this flat chip is doing is the light goes straight up to this mirror on top on the lens and shines straight back down. So in the light, that flat plate right here that those LEDs are on, 4 of them, shoot straight up, hit that, and shoot straight back down. So the light is literally going out this shape right here as it goes straight up and comes straight down, or it's shooting out this way. So most of the light is coming this way, or it's going straight up and straight down. But none of it's going out this way. I'm walking the path. As I'm walking up, I'm, step back. I'm like, well, let's see how they look from a distance. And I'm walking up. It's just right in my eyes. So I have that in the video too. We'll play a little clip of that. As you're walking, you're just looking at that LED chip. Whole housing was not designed for that flat light. It's designed for a bulb to be in the center of it. Think of a lighthouse, right? We want that light to go out as far as it can so the ship can see it, right? And that's the same thing here. You want the bulb in the center of this and the light shining out across the ground and lighting the ground up for safety, security, but not up and down, right? So it's a very good product, but the light inside of it is not. So did a little research. I remembered the old ones I had, the ones that I liked. I looked at the bulb type of that was a G4 bulb type, bipin, G4, T3. There's so many different names for it, but basically it's a little bulb. You get on the internet and just has 2 little pins on it. There's a million of them, and it's so hard to pick. So what I'm looking for is outdoor. Is it outdoor rated? Because it potentially can get moisture inside of it, because these aren't sealed up. The heat and the cold in the wintertime, you're gonna get some condensation on the inside, right? So I look for outdoor rated, which this one was outdoor rated. I'm looking for the 3000 white or the 3000K color, because in my landscape lighting, I like that traditional 3000. I wanted a 3 watt because I knew the old ones were 3 watts, and the 3 watts produced the lumens of light that I wanted on the ground. Enough to annoy my neighbors, but enough that made me feel confident that the front of my house is lit up. So that's how I selected this bulb. It is a Rayho G4 LED JC bi-pin based 3 watt AC/DC 12 volt bulb. 3000K, outdoor rated, $2 a piece. Sell it on the bulb. As soon as I sell it on the bulb, I knew I could get bases. You can get bases on the internet, all over the internet, just a G4 base, right? So the bulb plugs into the base, 2 wires, 12 volt system, and then you'll see how we'll modify this down. But that's the base you need, 2 wires, base, and a bulb, some 5 minute epoxy. That's what I use. We probably could use some other stuff, but I like 5 minute epoxy. And with that, the grand total is $3.65 to fix GOODSMANN's light and get the refraction that I want on the ground and have a safer and a better producing landscape pathway light. That's all I want. I'm gonna do it from start to finish, so that way, literally, if somebody bought these lights and wants to do the upgrade, I'll give you the step-by-step in this video. Okay, we got our GOODSMANN lights all put together. Like I said, I'm gonna tear it apart and do it all from the start. So always, I like to make sure the top is a little loose so I can wiggle it. As I wiggle it, as I take the spike off, it doesn't twist the wire up inside. The wires up here at top are actually really, really small wires that can easily break. Just gonna cause you more problems. Set that aside, take your top off, unscrew the rod, slide the rod down. There's the 2 little wires. Take off the metal cover, push the light up, set all this gently on your bench, put this in the vise. The top 2 screws, the big screws have to come out so we can remove the LED chip. And then the other 2 screws hold the LED chip down, and then we'll put these screws back in. We're getting rid of these, the 2 small screws we're getting rid of, we're keeping the 2 big screws. And then just lift this plate up, snip off the 2 wires, red and black. Snip them off close so you give yourself as much wire as you can leave. Then fold those out of the way. So that's the LED chip. That's what they're using to make the lights. And I get it. This thing's probably, I don't know, 28 cents, 35 cents. They probably buy these. I bet they buy 10,000 at a time, and I bet they're like 20, 30 cents a piece. But you change the light. The light isn't doing what the light needs to be doing. Love the product, but they ruined it when they changed the bulb. When they took the bulb away, they ruined it. Plain and simple. I like to just strip them back. They're really small. They're right at the very bottom of my stripper size. So I like to just do it a couple times in a circle if you can. Same thing with the bipin. I leave the bulb in because the bulb is actually a helper for me. I just cut these down to about 1.25 inches. Strip them back. And then fold them over and just set it down. However you want to do this, but you just gotta get the red and the white lined up. twisted together. I solder them. You have to solder them. You can't not solder them. So the first one's the hardest one to just get to sit in place. A little torch and some solder and some heat. That's one done. The first one done, easy one done.
I want you to try this.
Sorry for the interruption. I gotta try something. Be right back. Okay. So we got the first one done, is the easy one, or the hard one. Then you just kind of want to move it around. Get the base kind of set in the middle, and then connect these two wires together over here. This does not have to look pretty. It just has to be function. And soldering it together, it's not gonna fail, because then we're gonna bury it in epoxy, and epoxy seals it in. So you don't have to worry about corrosion or anything like that. All right, so both wires are soldered together. Bend this one over, get it over next to the pin. So everything's kind of just laying in there. Inside the circle where the LED pad was, that's where I want all this setting. And then mix up some 5 Minute Epoxy. I use Gorilla's 5 Minute Epoxy. I told you this is my first YouTube video, so I ain't getting paid by nobody. This is just the stuff that I use. I do dollar size. I use an old nail, old screw, something laying around that I'm just gonna throw away. The thicker it gets, the easier it is to pour. But I just like to get these wires down as close as you can to the floor. Nothing fancy, just a screw and dip in some epoxy. And you just let it run down the side. I turned it, so trust me when I say that. It's not seeing level, so I might actually have to lay it back level. Because the epoxy's running that way. The old wise men in my family used to always say there's more than one way to skin a cat. Everybody has their own way of doing everything in life. So don't get on me about just using an old screw and not having some kind of a epoxy spatula or something. Anyways, good and covered. Just this little epoxy base like that. Just wipe off just because I'm gonna put my hands on this ring here in a bit. I don't want the epoxy down on this ring, but other than that, it doesn't matter. It's not doing anything. Holds it in place. This is 5 Minute Epoxy. Usually takes a little longer, so we'll probably speed up the video as this gets set up. But what I was saying, there's more than one way to do everything in life. Don't pick on people the way they do it, right? Because you'll find a different way to do it. If it works for you, it works for you. Do it. Do what works for you. This works for me. But the main objective is to get the wires that you soldered together underneath the epoxy, and then the ceramic base, bipin base, is attached to the epoxy. And so it just makes this little light socket. And you drop the light in and you got a new light. You got the light that you want. That's what I do. I get the light that I want. All right, welcome back. You were gone for literally probably 6 minutes. It is dry. The epoxy is dry as you can remove the bulb. So now you have the replaceable bulb. There you go. So we'll put it back together real quick. Slide the glass back up. And now you can see what I'm talking about is the bulb is in the center of the glass, and the light's gonna come out this way, 360 degrees. This is also a 360 degree bulb. You gotta make sure of that. Don't get a two-sided one that just shines light this way and that way. You gotta get a bulb that shines 360 degrees, right? And now you can see in the glass the refraction that's gonna happen because the bulb is in the center of the glass, like the glass was designed for. Like in the 18th century when they built the first lighthouse. Okay. Slide the metal up. Grab your rod, slide it up. Now you got to reach in there and hold that sometimes. Or pull down a little bit. If you pull down on it sometimes, don't get it all the way tight. Grab your spike, put your spike on. These have already been in the dirt, so it's tough. And then reach in there and tighten that back down. Make sure the bulb is straight, the way we like it. It's all sealed in epoxy in there. You got a bulb you can take out and replace whenever. Yeah. That's the other thing about that GOODSMANN. If that thing would have went out, you would have just thrown the whole thing away. It's a non-replaceable bulb. To conclude, now we're back together. We're ready to go back into the ground. All we gotta do is go plug it right back in. So I will find the time and I will post it when I'm editing, but I don't think it was more than 15 minutes to change it to this style bulb. And you still have every good thing that GOODSMANN did in building a good quality product with these quick connectors I love. Years ago, I didn't have these quick connectors, but these connectors are pretty slick. You may get some corrosion over time because they're gonna be down in the water and the dirt and stuff. 5-10 years down the road, you may have to just replace these connections with some seal tight nuts. But for today, these things are pretty slick, and I'm gonna go put it together. Okay, so like I said, I already had all of these installed. So what I'm doing is I'm just exchanging the last one to the first one. So I'm swapping each one out as I go. I know my wire went this way, it did. So I'm just pushing the bark dust back, pretty easy. Expose my wire where I hooked it up to the main run. Pull this lamp out, set it aside, place my new one with my new bulb. Oh, place my new one, or my new bulb style. Unscrew it, and then push this off the wire. And then that one shuts off. Go to a new location. Don't use the same location or else you'll just keep weakening the wire in the same spot. So I like to go to a new location, get it lined up. I do this hot because I'm old and I'm down here once and I don't want to get down here twice. So I want to make sure this light works while I'm down here, which there you go. So there's my new style light. And then rebury the wire. If it's dark, it goes down first. The lighter stuff keeps on top. I like to just mess it up. As you can see, I take this now to the shop and go repeat the process again. And it's like I was never here. There you go. You want that good glass refraction on the ground, and your sidewalks lit up and your grass lit up and your bushes lit up and not your house. I'll do that right now. Show the pictures of the front of the house. The light was actually shining into the living room and lighting up the ceiling in the living room. So much safer light, good refraction on the ground, does not shine up, does not shine you in the eyes. Good classic 3K light, warm light, which just, in my opinion, is the best light for landscaping. It just looks good on the grass. So if you're looking to upgrade your GOODSMANN light, which your GOODSMANN light is a great product. It's just, in my opinion, they completely ruined it by taking away the bulb. So put a bulb back in it, and then you have a great product, getting the best use of that product and the light out of that product. That's my opinion. And if you've enjoyed this video, thank you for even getting to this point. And I hope somebody learned something, and maybe I can do other ones. Who knows? If you were curious, the PK and DK show is a daily comedy podcast. And it's hilarious, and it's an hour, about an hour, Monday through Friday. The PK and DK show at pkanddk.com and all major podcast platforms. Give it a listen and tell them Eric sent you. Bye.